not that bad. I'm gonna have to completely strategize here. Okay, I'll go with a boomerang tower. And then a monkey sub right here. There we are. And once this guy gets advanced intel, obviously it'll be pretty good. Oh shit. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. We got one. Okay. We're good. I just need to upgrade this next. This is the next priority. Holy shit. That was fucking close. Oh wow. Okay. Just need 5 more. You collect 5. Yay. Alright, that's good. It's not bad. I kind of want to go get my phone right now so I can look up the writing prompts. Not writing prompts. Thought experiments. Okay, tell you what. Future me, do a small cut here while I look for one. What was it? Oh, what was it? What was the fuck was that? Predict the future. Give an infinite amount of computing power to an impossible analysis system. If you were able to freeze time and collect energy values of how fast and what direction every piece of matter was going in, you could predict the next frame of the universe. If the frame of the universe were set at every plank, you could predict the future forever. Yes. Yes. Space travel limiting factors for humans. This isn't actually as good as last time I went there. Okay. And we can talk about the yet apparently horribly depressing thing. Okay. So yeah, I find that a bit weird how, like, I don't know. I mean, alright, prepare for things to get heavy. One thing that annoys me more than anything else in the world is just this this behavior that is completely unique to people trying to be comforting, and that is the phrase "everyone grieves in a different way," and that is 100% true. I do not disagree with that in the slightest. Everyone does grieve in their own way. And it's wrong of you to accuse someone of something while they're... Or, not accuse someone of anything while they're grieving. But, you know, it's wrong of you to, like, say they're grieving wrong. Like, they're doing it wrong. That's completely wrong of you. But I don't like people that say that and then go back on themselves when someone grieves in a way they're not familiar with. Which kind of fucking sucks for me because, oh, shit. Well, sorry me for having to readjust that. Which, yeah, anyway, kind of sucks for me because I have a very, well, not depressing, but anyway, I have a very, not unique, I don't think, grieving method, which has to do with, and yet apparently horribly depressing, which is denial, like the first stage of grieving, hits me hard. Like, super fucking hard. As in, like, I just completely block off the idea that the event really ever happened. Like, I mean, logically, my brain knows that it happened, but, like, you know, the event doesn't settle in for, like, a couple days. Which makes it seem really standoffish, or, like, really weird and bad when, you know, someone... When, I don't know, it just really gets to me how if something really bad happens, like someone dies or something, and then I have no reaction at all. Like, at all. Like, when hearing the news, I have very little reaction. When, like, at a funeral, I have very little reaction. And then the people that say, like, everyone grieves in their own way, then call me weird or say I'm doing it wrong or something. Oh, I get it. I get it. This is complete mood change. This guy will only target camo balloons when, like, a camo balloon's in the range of something that can detect it. So this guy can hit camo balloons, so therefore, when a balloon enters this range, obviously it can't. When a camo balloon enters this guy's range, he can't see it, but when a camo balloon enters this guy's range, this guy can see it. Got it. Anyway. What was I saying? Yeah. Anyway, but it's those same people that say, like, everyone grieves in a different way that would go out and accuse me of not feeling anything when, you know, an event like that happens. And I'm not sure how common that is. But it is one of the worst things in the world, because I obviously feel like shit in that situation. Clearly, everyone does, but I'm just not showing it or really processing it in my brain, and that just makes the wave of depression hit super fucking hard when denial wears off. And I get that depression is stage 4, but just the analogy's wearing thin at the moment. But yeah, you know, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really help the fact that people are complete assholes in that situation. Then you can make the argument that they're only doing that because they're grieving and I'm being a complete fucking hypocrite, but who cares? I don't know. Fucking death's a weird thing. No, death is not a weird thing. It's how living people react to death that's the weird thing. Death is perfectly normal. I get death. It's where things moving stop moving. Like, I get that. But, you know, it's how frustrating people can be when they're, you know, super sad. Which is, you know, sort of a bad way of putting that, but still. Hey, I got ballistic missiles. Yay. So now that'll pop camo balloons as well. Not camo balloons. Lead balloons, that's the one. Anyway, just figured I'd need to talk about that. I haven't really talked about that to anyone. I think I have, maybe. I don't know. Ugh. Haven't put it on the channel before. That's interesting. Another reason that I don't expect to ever get, like, a big subscriber base, because no person with, like, a big subscriber base would say that. Without, like, doing a vlog video where they walk up with tears in their eyes and go, and then pause for, like, 10 seconds. Yeah, anyway. Because MatPet did a video about that and said that it's impossible to be treated seriously without doing that, and that's just one of the many reasons I don't like that guy. Yeah. Like, this is neat heart-to-heart talk. One way, but still. You know. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get another one of these guys and get the boomerang thrower. There we go. So this guy throws super fast, as you can see here. But, you know, it does less damage than the other one. But I, again, don't know what... Turbocharge increases the attack speed to hypersonic for 10 seconds. Alright. But, like, it's also that thing that, like, if I were to ever get, like, a bigger subscriber base and I ever had to do, like, an apology video or something, I don't know. Even if I didn't have a subscriber base, if I made a mistake, I'd probably do an apology video. Or just say in the next video, oops, fucked up, sorry. Like, I don't know, it doesn't take more than that. And that's probably another reason that, you know, I don't know. I tend to handle probably all dramatic situations in a very similar manner. It's my first instinct to go to, like, a logical solution to any problem. So, you know, if I were to, you know, ever have to publicly experience a very dramatic thing, I would probably be seen as a complete asshole. Or I'll be seen as, like, the next PewDiePie or someone else equally down to earth, where I don't fucking know. I don't know, nor will I care, because that's not in my future. However, a better channel is in my future. Not a bigger channel, but a better channel. Fuck yeah. With a really big shelf. And also I've decided that, again, if I were to get bigger, I would put a subscriber plaque as one of the things on my shelf. So there you go. And would that work in the channel banner? I don't know, nor do I care, because once again, I'm not actually going to do it, so... I'm not... Why am I saying I'm going to do it? That would be entirely on you guys. No pressure. Anyway. Yeah. Yay, I'm gonna beat the map on easy. This guy, I think this guy is the last one you unlock. Even after this one. Or at least it's the most expensive. It's like 100,000. It's insane. But yeah, anyway. Whenever I'm humming to a song, it usually means I'm about to talk. Yay! I got Glavlord. Or Glavelord? I don't know, whatever. It's got spinning... Whatever I called those. Yeah. After this, we can go into the Ninja Monkey. Hell yeah. It's about 10 o'clock. Yay. Made an hour through. I kind of want to talk about something dramatic. I actually really like talking about, like, the more personal stuff. Just because I feel like I can. Like, there's no reason not to. It'd be alarming if anyone ever found this channel. Apart from the 31 people that I already have. Most people I know personally. There are quite a few I don't. Like, there are a good 5 or 10. I have no idea who they are. And thank you if you're any of those people. I love you. That's actually one thing that I tend not to get starstruck around like actors or whatever. I say that like I'm in contact with them or something. But no, I go to Denver Comic-Con every year, so you know I can meet like celebrities and stuff. Like Charles Martinet was at Denver Comic-Con last year. That probably dates it. Anyway, but yeah, I tend not to get starstruck. But there is one like type of person I would get starstruck around, and that would be any of my actual subscribers if I were to meet them in person. That would be way too much pressure. Yeah. I don't really think there's anyone else that I would get starstruck around. Like, I don't know. Whenever you think like starstruck, you think about like meeting your favorite people ever. But my favorite people are so down to earth and like you know, Dan Avedon is like my childhood hero, which. Yeah, maybe not be the great influence, the best influence, but he's cool. But yeah, anyway, if I were to meet him, he's like pretty fucking chill. Like, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have much trouble talking to him. So, again, a subscriber on the other hand of mine, that's too much pressure. Anyway, what was I saying? Talking about serious stuff. Right. Okay, so, boom, there we go. So, I suppose this isn't a very popular opinion. I don't know, especially for my demographic, if you will, being a 16-year-old suburban white guy. I don't know why I said guy. It's a white boy. He's a 16-year-old suburban white boy. But yeah, I really like romance movies. They're pretty good. I mean, it pretty much almost solely stems from the fact that that Back to the Future is almost entirely about that. Like the main song in the movie, apart from the literal theme, is called "The Power of Love." So there you go. Like, I really like that. It's a very good movie, and of course, a lot of time travel movies have to do with like love stories because that's the kind like the most compelling story kind. Nailed it. I mean, I can think of, like, a couple off the top of my head, like, The Lake House, The Girl Who Left Her Time. That was about it, really, I think. There has to be more than that, right? It's gotta be more H.G. Wells, I think, is the author. The Time Machine. Time Machine is about that. It's literally a love story. The first ever concept of time travel in recorded history is a love story. There you go. They go hand in hand. They always have been. There's my excuse. Anyway, yeah. Just my love of time travel just led to a love of romance. I probably could have phrased that better. To a love of love. Anyway. But yeah. So that's something that, like, if I were to ever create anything, like, more serious, it would probably have to do with time travel, love, or both. And those are, like, topics that are very sensitive when you're going into, like, a topic fresh. Because when you think of, like, a terrible movie, it's almost always, like, a terrible fanfic, or, you know, something about that. Even fanfics, like, 90% of them are love stories anyway. The like, 10% that aren't are almost always amazingly good. Or really edgy and bad. Okay, so never mind. Fanfics are really inconsistent. They're pretty good, though. Like, if you've never actually read a fanfic and you're just, like, you know, hearing how bad they are all the time, they're worth checking out. They're not that bad. Some of them are actually better than the source material. Like, all Star Trek fanfictions. I'm not that into Star Trek, but I am fascinated by the effect that it has on people. Like, yeah. It's just, like, I don't know. So I did get the spinning glove thing on the last one, so I'm going to get Bionic Boomer on this one. And I am playing a normal. Yeah, I am. Medium, rather. Okay, so what was I doing? Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. If I were to ever, like, create anything more serious, it would be one of those two things. And the reason that I haven't created anything more serious on my channel is purely because, you know, starting with those two things are, like, famously hard. So, you know, I promise I will do something more serious on the channel at some point in the future, and it probably will be to do with those two themes, but it's going to take a lot of years of polish and looking at it from a third-person perspective, because I'm not going to upload absolute garbage. I will do my best and try and make it alright. It's not going to be the best work when it comes out initially, but, you know, I don't know. I've written a couple things, and again, none of them are good enough to tell anyone, but, you know, I'm telling you that they exist. So, yeah. I mean, so some of them I think are passable, at least. I have zero way of introducing them in any way, but, you know. And I think like, a little thing that I'm doing on my channel at the moment that's slightly more serious is the TARDIS ARG that I have going on at the moment, which is the only, like, I figured I'd just mention it just in one of my other videos. I'm not going to mention that there's a TARDIS ARG going on in the series. That kind of defeats the point. But yeah, that's on the more serious side when you get to the end of it. Which, you know, I have the ending written out. Just a couple more steps. You'll see when if you were to actually play the ARG, you can definitely tell. You will probably definitely be able to tell that I had a couple things planned out, and then other things I just not necessarily made up as I went along, but I have this thing filed in the story as "and then stuff happened," and you'll be aware when the end stuff happens. So yeah. I'm gonna get another one of those right here. But the goal is to hide the, you know, and then stuff happening and make it seem like it's more natural progression. But theoretically, in a good written story, there would never be a need for that kind of stuff, and I'm aware of that, and at least I am aware of that. That doesn't make that story necessarily good, but, you know, it makes the future stories that I'll make alright. Like, it's a learning experience. Which, like, I get the whole point of, like, putting it out there is so I can get feedback, but when I have no audience, there's no feedback, but I don't know. It's good to have it, like, all written down and visual, so. There we go, that was a more serious topic. That was fun to talk about. I don't know, it's the dead of night. I have nothing better to do. I mean, everyone, when they're ever tired. It's like, you know, their brain goes, let's talk about deep things and not that deep things and whatever. I get that I'm 16 and my level of deep is probably nowhere near as some other people, but, you know, it's what's going on in my life. I'm not going to pretend it's deep to everyone. Like, you know, I can at least acknowledge, because, like, the stuff that was deep to me when I was, like, 10 is pretty surface level now. Like, you know, an existential crisis, which, yeah, I'm aware that people live till they're, like, 50 before they have one, or, like, they just don't have one, and they, you know, die without an existential crisis, which kind of sucks a little bit. Whoa, that's fast. God damn. Okay. But yeah, I had an existential crisis, like, when I was, like, 10. Which, if you've never had one, I'll give you the experience. You realize that life, not necessarily realize, but you fully understand and let it sink in that your life is meaningless. And that feeling really doesn't go away. And the existential crisis doesn't exactly end. It's just at one point you become content enough to continue with your life. And then it settles in over the course of, like, the next week. And then that becomes your life. And then you feel just like... Like, if you've ever heard someone describe, like, doing drugs for the first time, it feels like waking up for the first time. Like, it is a surprisingly powerful high at existential crisis. So yeah, I would recommend it, but that's only because I've been living like that for a while. Before I find out that that's actually the sign of, like, depression or something. I don't fucking know. I'm 100% sure it was just an existential crisis, but I don't know. It was a neat experience. And obviously that was deep. My point is that was deep to me at the time. It is now just a fact of life right now. So, you know, the whole grieving thing, like, that's, you know, pretty, like, bothering me at the time. At this now. Right now, this is something that's bothering me. But, like, I understand that in the future I will probably get over that. So, yeah. Which is, I feel like getting over it is kind of a harsh way of saying learning to live with it, because you'd never, like, get to a point where you just completely ignore it. Like, you know, the term getting over would kind of imply is that you're over it and it's behind you and you don't have to worry about it anymore. You're just sort of on top of it. And it's like part of your little mountain. I'm going to stop before this analogy falls apart. But yeah, you get it. It's like, you know, you don't get over stuff like that. It's just, it becomes part of you, and that is who you are now. Not who you are in its entirety, but, you know. Uh-oh. This is fine. This is going to be perfectly fine. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're good. So, yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, well, at least I did that, so now I can work on the Ninja Monkeys. And also, as you can tell, hopefully, the money for each tower is increasing. So, like, on the easy mode, I could get a spike factory off the bat, but now I can't. I don't think, anyway. But, yeah. Anyway. What other deep things bother me? This is like therapy without a therapist, so just venting, really. I don't know. Nothing else is going on. That's whole life right there. I mean, I'm only 16. I can only experience so much in 16 years. So, yeah. I mean, there is, like, other stuff, which I'm not going to mention. I don't know. I'm going to mention it at some point, I feel, but just not now, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of always wanted to do a Draw My Life. Again, it's one of the more serious things that I want to do. And I'm aware that there are some really cringy Draw My Lives out there. That are like 2 minutes long or something. I don't know. But like if I were to ever do it, it would be like for a 10 or 20 year anniversary of my channel. It wouldn't have nothing to do with the subscriber count. And if it did, it would have to be really high. So yeah. Basically, I'm only going to Draw My Life in like 20 years. Not 20 years. 14, 15 years. Accounting for how long I've been doing this channel. So 16, 17 years, logically. About 16-ish years. I'll probably do a Draw My Life. There you go. Because then I'll actually have a life to tell the story of, rather than just, 16 years. Ta-da! Not very long. So, yeah. And then for the 10-year anniversary of my channel, I've discussed this, but I'm going to do a playthrough of Pokemon White as, like, a callback to the original and just, where I was and where I am now. And I don't imagine I'm going to break that plan anytime soon. And if I do, I'll probably come up with something even better. So, I trust you, future me. Also, I think I've also mentioned this. I should stop saying I think I've also mentioned this. I mean, you're still here. I'm never going to abandon this channel. Like, if I don't upload for 2 years, I'm not just gonna, like, show up on a different channel or whatever. I'll just keep uploading on this one. Doesn't matter. It's the legacy of this channel. It's not... No, this is my YouTube channel. This isn't my primary YouTube channel. This isn't my gaming channel. This is my YouTube channel where I post things. I put live sketches on this channel. I clearly don't have a theme here. It's just what I want to make and when I want to make it. Which is a pretty dangerous mentality when it comes to making entertainment. Because, yeah, it doesn't always work out. Man, what else do I need? Put a cannon here too. Why not? That XP is terrible. But I'm not allowed to use any of these guys anymore. Which might be a problem when I get down to, like... Yeah, right here. This area, right here. When I complete the Monkey Apprentice, that's where shit's gonna get serious. Yep. Okay, bigger bombs, not bad. And longer range. Oh, I already had longer range, just bigger bombs right now. Yes, very nice. Alright, you gonna get the flash bombs? That'd be nice. Haha! This ain't bad. I really like this game. I hate that, like, YouTubers feel pressured to do stuff they don't want to do. That really sucks. Because, like, I can obviously sympathize with the work they do. I do the same thing. Obviously to a lesser degree. I'm not putting in as much work. Well, I mean, in some cases, I am sometimes doing more work than some of those YouTubers. I'm talking about the ones that have their scripts written for them and all they have to do is read it aloud and then they pay editors and stuff, and that's just gross. I mean, it's not gross to do that. I want to get that out there right now. It is not gross to be, like, in that position. What is gross is doing that and claiming that your life is hard while you live in LA. That's a bit, like... You could always have it worse. I mean, of course, they live in LA. They have people screaming at them that they could be worse all the time. Which, granted, those people are other rich people, which just, ugh. I don't know, like, it's just frustrating how they're like, oh, pity me, when they're in that kind of a situation, and, like... I don't know, I'm in this situation where I imagine they're feeling similar things. They just need someone to talk to or something. Like rhetorical therapy. I don't know if that's actually a term, but they should just upload rhetorical therapy videos like this. Where, I'm talking about my problems. Am I asking anyone to comment the solutions? Not at all. Nor do I care. I mean, slightly. If you comment anything, I'm going to read it. But yeah, like, I'm not asking for, like, solutions to my problems. I'm just talking about them, and talking about them out loud gets me thinking about them, and thinking about them leads me to solving them at some point. So, there you go. Also, these guys now fire entire missiles, which is very nice. Yeah. And I'm going to get another ninja monkey here with flash bombs. Oh, okay. Yikes. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna get another ninja monkey right. Where is it? There we go. But, like, I mean, logically, that's not the first time they've ever had to deal with, like, deep stuff at that moment in their life. I again want to emphasize the fact that this is not deep to everyone. This is deep to me at the moment in my life. It's a very specific level of deep. So, I mean, only live for 16 years. Maybe it stops here. Maybe it keeps going forever. Maybe I've passed everyone and I'm a genius. I'm... yeah. As you can see by the many cases of me being a genius, like, I don't fucking know. See? Memory? Terrible. Okay. Oh, yeah, I finally got this. So now this guy fires out, like, what, 5 things at once? Like, super close? Yeah, 5 shurikens. So that's a bit insane. Yeah. And then this one, sabotage supply lines, right? That just, like, stops balloons from showing up for a bit. And then I think the balloons just resume at some point, so it just kind of pauses the round. I think. I don't actually know. I'm just gonna have to buy it, and then, I mean, either get it or just completely ignore it. I can do whatever. It's my life, I think. Oh no! Anyway. If I were to, like, ever write, like, a time travel story, which is my plan at some point in the future, it would be less about, like, ethics or politics, like most time travel stories, and mine would be more about, like, the logistics of actual time travel. And then also have a plot in there. Like, I'm not just gonna write a time travel story explaining why every other time travel story is wrong. That would be fun. But that's not entertaining. That's the whole point of writing something. Yeah. Anyway, so this guy now fires out a missile. Okay, if you can get to it. Yeah, that it now explodes into, like, what is that? A lot more bombs? Yeah, just a lot more bombs. So, yeah, it's pretty fucking good. This is one of my favorite upgrades. Especially balloon impact. But yeah, anyway, this one is going to be the Moab Mauler. I feel like I was going to say... Oh, yay, we got sabotage supply lines! Hooray! I don't think that actually really did anything. No, that paused it, didn't it? Okay, well... Yeah. Alright, well, selling you guys. Hooray, money! Monkey money. Okay. So now I'm going to go up and get the bomb towers over here, and doing this my way, which is like this, and then get one over here. There we are. One here. I mean, like, alright, so with the serious thing and the way that people handle things, I think Game Grumps is a perfect example. I've already mentioned them earlier this episode. Like, they're one of the more grounded sets of people. But, like, when they complain about things being hard, they, like, on recording, they specifically say, like, hey, I'm just gonna vent real quick and don't actually really want help. Or if they do want help, they ask. And, like, you know, they don't keep things vague or whatever. And holy shit. Oh, right, that's right. Bombs can't explode. Those. Okay. Yikes. Okay. Back to using the bomb tower. And then I'm just gonna have, like... that's a good question what I have there. Glue gunner. I'll have a glue gunner. Alright. That's the plan. But yeah, I don't know. They know exactly what they're doing. Like, Aaron, who's, like, the primary host of the show, like, he's the CEO of the company, and they bring it up all the time. They're not ashamed of it, like MatPat. Sorry I keep dissing on MatPat. I really don't like him. Dissing? Did I just say dissing? I'm just insulting him. That's not... Dissing implies that there's something clever going on there. Hey, I got sandbox mode. Hooray. Yeah, no, I can confirm there's nothing clever about just insulting someone. I'm just insulting them. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with insulting someone, I'm just doing it. Yeah. But anyway. like, they're not ashamed of what positions they're in just because they feel the obligation to be ashamed. But they also, just because they're not ashamed doesn't mean they're not grateful. Like, yeah, I mean, like, you could, I don't know, just LA. Like, most YouTubers live in LA, and that's annoying. Not most, but, you know, a significant portion of them live in LA. And it just rubs off on the internet. Ugh. Ow, my neck. But yeah, it just rubs off in a really unhealthy way because so much of the culture in LA is so douchey. And that they've got this, like, self-hate kink going on in LA where, like, you know, if you don't hate yourself always, then there's something so dramatically wrong with you. And it's just, that's just sick. It's just terrible that people try and perpetuate that. Because they're all about, like, self-care and you should feel good and stuff, and then they almost torture themselves with how much they hate themselves. Or how much they're supposed to hate themselves, and it's just, ugh, it's just rough. And, I mean, it's just a mix of, like, delusionally, I'm perfect, and, you know, oh, I must be punished, punish me, oh lord. It's, ugh. I'm never gonna move there. I'm lucky to at least be in California Junior over here. I live in Colorado, by the way. Because everyone from LA moved here for some god-awful reason, so now I have to deal with a bunch of people from LA. Luckily, the people that moved from LA don't want to be in LA, so they usually share my sentiment. So, yeah, that's something. If you're ever really tired of LA, come to Colorado, where there's more people like you. If you live in LA and don't like being there, in which I shouldn't be the one to tell you don't be there. Anyway. Also, there's this, like, weird culture of, like, don't watch the news, but, you know, still be really politically active. Like, I mean, not that the... I get where they're coming from with the not watching the news thing. Like, no news source in America is perfectly unbiased. I get that. Apart from, like, a couple, and they get to the news, like, so slow that you're going to be behind it anyway. But you shouldn't also remain politically active if you're cutting off, like, all sources of knowledge when it comes to politics. That just seems a bit weird. Because they're like, they'll make claims and then not want to... I'm just generalizing a group of people, just... Not like any specific named group of people, just this type of person is someone I don't like. Like, I'm not naming Democrats or Republicans or conservatives or liberals specifically, just each one of those groups happens to have this kind of person in it. And this is the kind of person that makes absurd claims and then doesn't want to fact check because they're objecting to the idea of checking a news source. So, that's annoying. Like, just don't make those claims if you don't want to back them up at all. Or argue them at all. Like, I mean, on the bright side, no one's going to listen to me when I try and argue, but at least I try. And theoretically, if I'm arguing with someone, they would argue back, and if they make a valid point, I might just switch to their side, because, you know, if they're objectively right, I will hopefully recognize that. And there have been a couple circumstances in my life where I have lost an argument. Okay, and I think that's something to be proud about. Like, I don't know, you could make the argument that... Okay, well, pardon that one. You could make the claim that using the word losing and winning an argument is what leads to, like, such hatred of other people when it comes to, you know, just talking, really. Is that, like, when there's a disagreement, it suddenly becomes a competition, and you don't want to lose for some reason. But I see arguments as trying to convince the other person of something, while also keeping an open mind just to check if you're wrong. Because, I see arguments, like, especially semi-serious ones, as one person is not only wrong, but almost dangerously wrong. Like, if you were to have a vaccine debate, if vaccines actually did cause autism, you would definitely want to keep an open ear out to, like, you know, make sure you're not giving kids autism or whatever. And I usually come up with, like, less topical examples, but, you know, I'm on the side of vaccines don't cause autism, but if someone provides actual proof, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not just going to say, yeah, well, I'm trying to win here, so I'm going to ignore that. No, I mean, like, if they do actually provide evidence for a vaccine that does cause autism, I'm all ears, because that's alarming. So, yeah. But, like, keep that open mind so that you don't become one of those people. Like, you know, if I was on the other side of the argument, and, I mean, like, it doesn't matter what side I'm on. If I don't keep an open mind at all times, I could very severely injure myself or others. So, I need to be very careful when it comes to knowing things. And I'll also acknowledge that anything I know is subject to change. And not that I'm going to force this on anyone, but I think other people should hopefully think the same way, that anything they know is always subject to change. Yeah.